guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. How's everybody doing tonight? So I just wanted to do a quick little video because I finally got around to watching the movie Malignant, and I kind of want to talk about it. So let's talk about it. Now, I'm going to do my best to make this movie as spoiler free as possible. For anybody who has heard anything about it knows that there's a twist ending which has audiences divided on how they feel about it. But long story short, kind of how the whole point of the movie is about this girl, Maddie Madison. I honestly don't remember what her name was. And she's seeing these like walking images, like nightmares of these like brutal murders. And they end up becoming reality. That's pretty much the premise of the movie without giving any spoilers or giving away the ending or anything like that. That's the main concept. I'm going to say right off the bat, I was actually a pretty big fan of this movie. I know a lot of people are very divided on how they feel about it. And I have a theory that the reason that, and I've heard other people say this too, and I agree with them, is that I think a lot of people don't like it because a lot of audience members are used to going into movies and expecting that they're going to know exactly what they're getting from a movie. And in Malignant's case, that doesn't happen. And I think it kind of threw some people off because the ending is batshit crazy. I mean, it is batshit crazy. It is off the wall. It is very bizarre, kind of just off-putting. And I think a lot of people went into this movie thinking it was going to be another Conjuring. It's James Wan, I believe his name is. I wasn't super familiar with his name. I knew his movies. Like, he did The Conjuring and Insidious and Saw, and he did a few other movies that were not horror movies. And this was kind of his first jump back into horror movies, and I think it was like 5 years. And I think a lot of people went into it thinking it was going to be another Conjuring type horror film, and it is not. It's hard to do a review on a film like this without giving away the ending. But for the most part, like, okay, the first half that you get of this movie is kind of just messy. Like, there's just it just kind of seems like it doesn't really fit together. It does, but it doesn't. It's very, very weird. You can kind of tell pretty early on kind of where this movie is going. But the big thing is how are they going to execute the finale of this movie? I mean, you kind of know where it's going, but how are they going to execute it? And that's what the big surprise is. Like, I hear a lot of people talk about, oh, the movie was so predictable. Well, I think that was intentionally done. I think they wanted to give you the pieces. They wanted you to kind of know that. I don't think they were trying to make that a mystery. I think what the mystery is exactly how they were going to conduct the finale of what you already, figured out that's going on. That's what I think the big plot twist is. And I think it just, the whole movie and that style of doing stuff really threw people off. And I think it went over a lot of people's heads. And I just don't think it was really what they were expecting it to be. And so, therefore, because it's different, because it's batshit crazy and so off the wall at the end, then it just really threw people off. I personally liked it. I think it's cool when people are willing to do that, or studios are willing to do that, to take a risk of putting out a movie like this and not giving you just the same old ordinary boring stuff that you get every time you go to the movies. It just makes for a poor, lame cinematic experience. And I think a movie like this really did a good job of trying to give you something different. This movie has a lot of different elements in it that I think a lot of people are going to enjoy. I mean, if you're an action person, there's sequences towards the end of the movie that looks like they're right out of like The Matrix. Some of these action sequences, which going into this movie, I did not think I was going to get anything like that. But I mean, it's got action, it's got a little bit of comedy, it's got some suspense, it's got gore. It's got a shit ton of gore. If you're a gore fan, and not quite as bad as some like the Lucio Fulci stuff, but it's got some gore. If you like gore, you're definitely gonna get that. Another thing that I really like is I'm a huge cinematography guy, and I thought there was a lot of brilliant camera work. Just where they chose to place it, what the specific tilts that they did, some of the colors they used through the shots, and just through where they put the camera, I just thought was extremely effective. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like in some of those old Giallo films. It reminded me a little bit of kind of like 80s old slasher films. It kind of reminded me of old like VHS horror films that you would, you'd find on a shelf somewhere that, in the back room of a movie store that no one's ever heard of. It's got a little bit of everything. And I really appreciated the fact that you did get a nice little mixture. You're not just getting one thing, which is always nice to see. It's new, it's refreshing, it's very exciting. Now, not to say that this movie doesn't have some flaws. It definitely does. I mean, some of the dialogue in the movie is not very good. Some of the acting is atrocious, especially in the opening sequence. I mean, it's bad. It's really bad, to say the least. It's not good. But overall, I had a blast with this film. There were enough elements in it that I really enjoyed that made up for some of the other parts that I didn't really care for. And overall, I think this movie is definitely worth checking out, no matter how your feelings is going to be at the end of it. But one thing I will say, because in the beginning of the movie, it's going to be, like I said, it's a little messy. You're not really sure what's going on. But the one thing that I definitely recommend is that no matter what you're thinking of it, just finish it, just for the sake of the fact that the ending is just nuts. And no matter what your feelings are going to be at the end, you got to watch the end, otherwise there was no point. But I think almost anybody can agree, no matter what your opinion is going to be on this movie, that at the end you're going to be thinking, what? What did I just watch? Whether you like it or not, the ending is just so, it's so out there. I mean, it's got elements of sci-fi in it too. It's something else, man. But I definitely recommend it. You at least check it out once, then you can say you saw it. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it after that. I found the film to be extremely rewatchable. I'll probably, if it ever comes out to physical media, I'll definitely pick it up. I thought it was a blast. Thought it was very entertaining. Like I said, it has a few flaws, but overall, it was a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Lets me know you guys like what I'm doing. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And let me know what movies you guys watch. If you watched Malignant, what you thought of it. Leave comments in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.